Shalom, family. Glory be to God and blessed be the Lamb. It's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your God is? Do you know where your God is? You know, man is crazy. I mean, this shit going on everywhere. You got 40 volcanoes about to go off, or that's already lit. 40. A couple of earthquakes, tsunamis, at least anywhere from 60 to 90. What a fit place to raise children, huh? Better raise them up in the ways of the sport if you want them to survive. If you want them to survive. You know, there are monsters. There are monsters. There's two types of monsters. It's to see if this statement still holds true. There are the monsters out of man's head, like Godzilla and King Kong. See, we will consider in this country, the minute that they commit an atrocious act of violence, these years automatically kick into start, and they start to create the atmosphere of mental illness. Mental illness actually is rare. It's more to that than one would think. Mental illness is actually rare. There's more to that than what you think. Now, there is a third kind of monster upon the planet, maybe even another couple. To some, supposed to be here. Not by any stretch. And they hide and they walk amongst us. I won't be talking about that tonight. What I want to talk about is a type of monster that embellish and manifests in the way of a man's slow descent into madness. What is madness? First, I would think that first we have to have workable definitions that we all agree. And to have the definitions, you would have to have a base, if you know what I mean. You would have to think of it. To me, there's been a few times that I have woke up and wanted to kill people. I mean, I can't tell you a lie. And if it hadn't been for the universe and them people and my understanding of what the universe and the powers of was trying to tell me, then they would probably be dead today, and I'd be either still wrapped up in a sorted pellet process after having spent thousands of dollars. anyway, anyway, anyway. Normally we don't insane, and no one dares say anything because they know that I am insane. Oh man, make it make sense. Oh man, listen, I just bombed 18 little babies yesterday. That some bitch is crazy. Say it again. Oh, he's around? He's one of my favorite people. How much of a donation did his people give back to speaking to our people? See, I told you, he's one of my favorite people. A little bit insane, though. So now, as the rest of them descend into madness, into straight madness. So here's how I know that you're mad. One of the key giveaways is now, since you, and I knew that we would get here, and for people, anyway, we'll get to that. Don't think that God isn't watching and doesn't listen. There's no silence to you now. Anyway, so we've watched. When I say we, I mean you. No, somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 to 14 civilians per enemy combatant. That's a hell of a shot rate ratio. That means that if I want to get the joy over here, I gotta kill 13 people, 13.5, just to get the joy. And I'm willing to do it. And these 13.5 ain't gonna be soldiers. No, they not gonna be fighters and warriors. No. I mean, and that's an acceptable death rate. I was starting to like that term. That was cognitives about their new fear. They don't know which one of you peasants is going to shoot one of the high class officials. You damn peasants. You need to understand your actual place in society and stop trying to kill the CEOs and the rich people. Tongue in my cheek. I'm not saying, in fact, retract the last statement. Retract the last statement. I did not say that. Nobody heard that. And this is our story, and we will be sticking to it. Shot to the ratio here, the combatant to civilian ratio. So 14 people out of uniform with no guns, half of them babies, have to be burned alive before you can even find one of them. And you're willing to do it. Now, I may be willing to do it once or twice, depending on how mad I am and the words I've already spoken. But there's a limit. At some damn point, it would drive me mad. As the actor, it would drive news in this country, but it's right there. As if you don't look at it, then it doesn't exist. You're a bunch of dweebs. But at any rate, it does exist. And they're gonna make you watch. So when God asks you, why didn't you do something about it? What were you know what? You should start thinking about your answer now. You really should. You just started coming up with a viable answer now. Before you die, you should get counsel now and come up with a viable answer to bring God when sexual escapades and immorality, and they don't want to be judged by you. Yet they judge you every day, but they don't want you to know themselves. And I keep saying, why would you even care what they feel? They just a little people, ain't they? Are they not just a little people? Then why are you concerned if they know, for example, I won't make no examples because it would just be mean. There's no funny example I could flip out the tongue. So now we will bear witness as they starve to death. By the way, I mean, no protein. It just fills your belly. Wow. And for that, I mean, what is it, Squid Games? Some combination of Squid Games and food games. A big truck drives up with sacks of flour, and you charge the truck because you and your family haven't eaten in like a week, and you get shot. And the IDF will investigate. Wow. Haven't you noticed that all of the madmen want to police themselves? They don't want to be policed by anyone else. Let me ask you something. Bonding racket over there. I mean, I understand them. I don't understand you. Because you get nothing out of it. You get nothing out of it. They make they make themselves known. Not so much anymore. They don't want to be known now. And by the way, stop grouping up. Stop grouping up. You know who you are. And I mean, stop grouping up. And stop grouping up and making videos. Rule 2. Rule 3, stop grouping up, making videos and showing up on YouTube. And man, pick to be done. You should do them as best you can and 100% secret. The world should never know. Should never know if this just must be done, but really, you should give it up. This is another angle of man's descent into madness. Into madness. Who you do know that you have an enemy, right? And that enemy, you just shouldn't group up. If I was giving you advice, I mean, in this type of war, don't group up. You need come to grips. Come to grips. You have presented yourself as a threat to the community, a threat to black women, a threat to the black man, a threat to the black family, and a threat to Jesus, and God don't like you. At this day and age, with this booming voice that span the globe, this where you think that you should group up at. What part of you're not innocent do you not get? What part are you women or you men? It's better that you don't do that. You have made yourself enemies of God. That's not a warning. That's not a threat. That's just that damn good advice. Damn. Now, if you're not in war or you don't want war, then you can say so out loud. Otherwise, you lose the right to group up freely and have meetings. Okay, don't do that. What are we fighting here? What chapter is this? Exactly what are we fighting? But anyway, yourselves and consult your lawyer now. What answer when will you have as to why it was allowed on your watch? On your watch. What answer? What viable argument? When we know that you know the truth. So we know that you know the truth, and that wouldn't help you. They sent you to the word speaking the truth, and that didn't help you either. That leaves only one thing, maybe two. And rampage through the Japanese mainland and islands, stomping whatever he wanted to, burning down whatever he wanted to. And he did it for 5, 6 years, and he still had stuff left over to come back out the ocean next season and do it again. And do it again. These monsters are quite different. These monsters here are not like those monsters. And the sad thing is, you're not even dealing with humanity, psychological misfits. Psychological misfits. Deviants. Deviants are from the norm. From the norm. And one thing I know about deviating from the norm is you don't just deviate in one area. Once you start to deviating in one area, then you will start to deviate in other areas of your life. Oh boy. So we bear witness now. By we, I mean you, because sooner or later we're gonna act. We're just waiting. Everything has to use that term Israeli lawyer because he will also wants to be known as a Jewish lawyer. But if I dare call him Jewish without giving him proper accolades, I could get banned. He's gonna have to deal with that dichotomy. Now, he was caught having a conversation. Should I be calling his name? Herschel. He'll come to me. He'll come to me. He was one of the Epstein guys. No, he was Epstein's lawyer. Was involved. You know what this old fart said? He's a pedophile and a rapist. He said that, let's be realistic. How many of us would not want to have sex with a teenage girl? And he said this unabashedly. Unabashedly. on video, on camera, with lots of money. You see what I'm saying? So who's ruling who here? It seems to me like you would have had an uproar. Here's a man, they want to mosey along and act as though every morning is a new morning. It's a start over. It's not. It really isn't. But anyway, back to what the fuck I was saying, because I'm getting angry now. They done stumbled upon, I'm right up the road here, 4 5 hours max, lies Alabama. They have found a basement full of young people. Maybe they was adult babies or baby adults. They had all been beaten, drugged, and raped. They're not relatives. That's why, from time to time in the United States, somebody kills their daddy, or the daddy shoot their daughter, or their daughter shoot the mama, or the mama shoot the daughter. This happens damn near every other day in this country. They have had cases in this country where the dude said that was not my wife. You would laugh at it at first, but if you know what I would learn later, this was back in 2019 or 2020. His defense was because they knew secrets that he's onto us, and he didn't give a damn. He didn't give a damn. He didn't give a damn that I showed him that I showed him the image of his mother. I showed him the image of his father, and he did it anyway. I showed him the image of his daughter and his son, and he stabbed him anyway. What kind of man is that? See how they think? But that's exactly how they think. That's exactly how they think. What kind of man is that? No, what kind of man is you? To reveal what I say, what I so you euphemistically refer to as show their hands. They will have to show their hands at some point. At some point. And it'll be the last thing that they do. They actually want to do it now. They're just afraid. They know that the world would never even accept the premise. They know man is efficient at a few things. One of the things that you simply don't see, but the players, the ones who are involved, they know exactly what's going on, and they do see. They actually see. You may not see. This was makes the whole thing frightening, because sooner or later you will see also, whether you want to see it or not. Or not. You 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 walk amongst the monsters and you walk amongst the dead. Just like the Bible said that you would. And you know that it is the image. If you're understanding that what you're dealing with is not man, but the image of man, that would make, at the very least, a unreality. Whatever comes from that person is an unreality, because they're not real. They're not real in the sense of they don't exist in the consciousness that was there before. That makes them not real. Real in name only. Not the institutions, not the workers in them, and so on and so forth. I don't want to drive you into some level of fear, but it really is quite a twilight zone-ish, and you must be and everybody should be looked at as suspects. It's that kind of party, as suspect. At any rate, The man that tried to say that all of us would like to have a teenage girl. I started thinking to myself, this what you're gonna resent. You will be forced to represent your culture and your creed and your beliefs. I don't know of a better representative than you. I find you qualified. So when you open your mouth and when you commit actions, understand that you're acting on the behalf of your culture and your race and your ethnicity and your belief. Whether you like it or not, you are responsible. You are responsible. So, oh, and to answer that the question, no, I don't think that most men. Damn, man. That's right, man. You know what? They're just rapists, dude. And the culture is inundated with it because they really who is the dominant culture in this country? Is it truly white people? And what is white people? Because these people masquerade as all things. You know how many slots that they got checked off the board here? Listen here. First they're white, then they're Jewish, then they hold the dual citizenship, then they're a white man. Original Israelite of the people. It is a newcomer on the scene. In other words, it was made up by men to fit the wants, needs, and desires of other men. Now, why they had to have a God to to backdoor it and to validate it is beyond me. It's beyond me. But anyway, sir, no, most of us would not like to have a girl, and the fact that you've been so culturized to believe that to the point that, oh, he said that forget them. At least they got at least give a damn what my daughter thinks. She can divorce me later after I get up out of his ass. She can be upset and angry later. But one thing that she won't be doing is stopping me from beating the living hell out of him. That's a fact. That's a fact. So these are your monsters. Okay? These are your real monsters. It's the same mindset that says that it's okay to burn children or can stomach watching it. Watching it. I've seen more of a capacity of a little truth while acting as if you don't hear it. Now, I'm going to put this on, and this is where the devil went wrong. This is where he went wrong right here. Now, I said that in the beginning. This was an ingenious move. If you knew, if you knew that a universal gangster was coming after you, where would you hide? And you knew that you couldn't fight this bastard off, where would you hide? Well, you would hide inside of the human race. Now, when I seen that, I said ingenious. Now that I'm that my next move has to be crucial. Has to be crucial here. So that was an ingenious move. And then it came to me what my next move was. My next move was to make you responsible in their stead. If you want to inhabit that house, meaning vessel, meaning body, then you are the new stewards. You are responsible for whatever has happened, what will happen, using current civilian to combatant ratio is 14-1. I don't like it either. It's 14-1. Okay? That's the first thing. Secondly, we have a term around here that man has coined. He calls it acceptable death rate. These are the new rules of engagement. So if you can fit 14 of you inside of that one vessel, then sir, then we will be doing what we have to do, fall into place. If it don't, the entire plan fails. You must have a plan B. You must. And this is why I don't want to play anymore. It's not a challenge like that. It's not a challenge spiritually or intellectually. They just have numbers, not smarts. Numbers, not smarts. It's not the same thing. And I don't want to play anymore. I've grown bored. I've grown tired. I simply want this one over with. As a prelude, I mean, I should not fear that other guy's enemies. Okay? And I don't. In fact, I'm going to let the other guy know immediately if he tries to impart the fear or anything else that I have nothing to do with that guy. Let's not make this an issue between us. And then he will have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. So as you all bear witness to genocide and ethnic cleansing, people literally saying that rape should be okay. Can't you just lock them all up? Why do you care about what they think about you? You work on that, department. You work on that. But that's going to take some strength because you're lying. You're actually lying. You don't fear them. No, you don't really fear them. You really fear having to relive or to come to grips with what is in the face of them. That's what you really fear. In the face of them. And then they make the same on his back. Now we can't help you are the beast. No, this one's for you. But we can arm you up, give you some weapons here to stab the beast with. We can do that. And to you and the beast, enjoy the rest of your night. Source, I'm 7, I'm 1. You're gonna win this one. I'm not talking about the devil. The devil gonna lose one. How how many deep the blade goes is another question. He may survive is their own ass. And once one ass breaks, they will start to give up every ass. Well, you know what? You have a bucket full of asses. Trust me. It's been planned out. It's been planned out.